everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you've been doing well. I didn't think I was going to have time to film a video, but I'm in between trips right now, so I wanted to go ahead and film this video for you guys. This video is going to be on the Bottega Veneta mini Arco bag, and this is the smallest bag in the Arco line. I believe there is a small, medium, large, and maxi, although don't quote me on that. When I was at the Bottega Veneta Copenhagen store, I was able to try on just this size as well as the size up from this, which was a small. And what I really liked about that one is that the handle drop is longer to the point where it does fit over your shoulder, but I ended up deciding I liked the mini version better because it does have the crossbody strap, and I will go ahead and do mod shots as well as what fits later. If you guys watched my last video, you'll know that I actually didn't purchase this in the Copenhagen store. I wasn't 100% sure about the colors that they had available there, and then when I went to the airport store, I saw this black patent version and I absolutely fell in love. I have all the pricing info in that last video, so I will link to that if you're interested in watching. And I had always been a little bit afraid of patent leather bags. One, I just never really thought the aesthetic was for me personally. I just haven't really been drawn to them, as well as just things I've heard through the grapevine and some, doing some light research here and there, that patent leather bags, once they're damaged, they're impossible to repair, so that kind of threw me off a little bit. But when I saw this in person, there's just something about seeing this bag in person that just made me go, wow, this is stunning. I love how shiny it is. I love the way that it looks. I think it looks very sleek and kind of sexy. At the same time, I think it's also kind of understated because, Bottega Veneta is known for their weaving, and this has the maxi weaving, but it isn't logo heavy. So if you know designer bags and you recognize this weaving, you'll know that this is a Bottega Veneta bag, but it doesn't have any sort of like logos on it. That was actually something else that really drew me to this bag. So I've used this bag a few times already. Most recently, I went to go see Hadestown in San Francisco, and the quickest way for me to get to the theater from my place is to walk through this neighborhood called the Tenderloin, which really isn't that safe. But I felt okay carrying this bag through the Tenderloin because I knew that people wouldn't really recognize this bag. So I didn't really feel like I was gonna be targeted. I think in situations like that, sometimes you do want to carry a nice bag that doesn't scream designer, and this really fit the bill for me. The other thing about this patent bag is that it is extremely shiny, but it's actually coming off shinier on camera than I think it does in real life. In real life, it has this kind of sheen to it, so not quite as reflective, but just more of this kind of like smooth sheen that is a little bit matte in some light. I know that sounds incredibly contradictory, but the most similar description I can kind of think of is the YSL Lulu puffer bag. And unfortunately, I don't have that bag anymore because I did sell it, but I also described that leather as being kind of like shiny but matte. And I think this is a little bit more shiny than that was. In certain lights, it doesn't reflect in a way that's like incredibly shiny in your face, but it has this very smooth sheen to it. Sorry, I'm trying to be as descriptive as possible, and that's pretty much the best that I can do. So here's what the bag looks like from the front, and here is the back. So you do see the handles connected right here, and it does have two handles, and they are connected with this little strap right here, and here's what that looks like. And so if you wanted to undo the strap, you can just carry it like this, and this also allows you to open the bag a little bit wider. So then if you do that, you can open this little top flap right here, and you can see the inside, and it's all black, so it's a little bit hard to see. I'm going to take the strap out and try to show you guys the inside a little bit. So there is one zippered pocket right here that kind of hangs in the back, and I'm just going to lift this up so you guys can see the rest of it. So you can kind of see where the handles are connected. So right here on the back side, and then on the front side right there and right there. And I think for other versions of this bag, the inside is in suede, but for this particular version, the patent leather version, the inside is just in leather. It's not suede on the inside for this version. And then there is, and then you can see the little D-rings right there and right there where you would hook the strap in. And this side does have a little pocket right here, although I don't really think that could hold much, to be honest. And on the hanging pocket right here, it does say, it's a little hard to tell if the strap is in the way, it does say Bottega Veneta made in Italy, and that is embossed on the hanging pocket right there. To close the bag, you just bring this part in a little bit, and then you tuck the front flap into the straps like this. And then you can also just re-hook this together like that. And that's how you close the bag. There are two little openings on the sides right here and right here. So I wouldn't say this is the kind of bag that you can just kind of handle upside down. You could, and I don't think that your things would fall out because these little openings are fairly small, but I would just be mindful of it because, if there is a lipstick or something and it was knocked over, it could fall out. On the bottom, there are 4 feet, which I love. I love it when my bags come with feet. One thing about patent leather bags that the sales associate did warn me about is that it is kind of prone to fingerprinting, and it's a little bit prone to dust because dust can kind of stick to it. But she said it's really easy to fix because you just take a little cleaning cloth, the kind of cleaning cloth that you would use to clean your glasses with or a computer screen, and then if you just give it a quick once over, the fingerprints and the dust are gone. So I've done that a few times already, and it's very, very easy. So now let's go into what fits. So here is my long wallet. And technically it does fit, but it kind of takes up most of the space, to be honest. So you could probably fit your long wallet, and I'm filling with my phone, but here's my phone case that's kind of dirty. And then it does fit your phone as well. And I could probably fit my keys in here. So I'm going to do that. But to be honest, there just really isn't that much more room to play with because the long wallet takes up most of the space within the bag. So the times that I've used this bag, I have downsized to my card holder. So here's my card holder. And also what's great about this is because of the zip pockets in the back, you could also put some credit cards in here. So there was one time I took this bag out to dinner and I didn't want to bring, there was one time I did take this bag out to dinner and I just stuck my credit cards in the back here. So I had the entire rest of the bag to play with. So just for the purposes so you guys can see, here's my card holder. Here is my key pouch. I'm also going to put in some sunglasses. I personally would use sunglasses that are in a softer case or a smaller case rather than a hard case or a case that's really bulky, just to maximize your space. And let's see if my mini pochette fits. It does fit. One thing I've noticed about this bag is that to maximize your space, the best way to do that is to just insert your items in vertically so that they're all kind of like hanging like that. One great thing about this is that you can really see where everything is and things won't get lost. And I'm going to add my phone, as well as some hand sanitizer right here. That can fit on the sides nicely. And then on top, I'm going to put this little sunscreen powder. And that's about it. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see if this closes. Yes, it does close. So here's what it looks like with the bag closed. You can see that my hand sanitizer is peeking out a little bit, but I think it's pretty secure in there because it's kind of held in with the other items. So I don't think that's going to be in danger of falling out. The other thing about this bag is you could also just carry it open. You could either tuck the bag like this and just hold it like this, and that way your items are easily accessible. If you're in a store or you want to just quickly pay, you can do that. I personally just like the look of the way that it does look closed, so I usually will just close it like this. I do believe that the dimensions for this bag are probably listed on their website, but I also know that sometimes it's just helpful for you guys to see the actual measurements. So I'm going to go ahead and do quick measurements right now, and these will be approximate. So the bag is smaller on the bottom than it is on the top. It does have a little bit of a V shape where it kind of goes out a little bit. So for the very bottom of the bag, it is roughly 7 inches from there to there. And then the top portion of the bag, it is rounded, so it's a little bit hard to tell, but it's about 11 inches from side to side. And then from top to bottom, I'm just going to do this part right here because that'll be the easiest place to measure. From top to bottom, it's about 6 inches. And then the handle drop is about 5 inches. This bag doesn't fit over my shoulder, but I do usually carry it handheld or on the crook of my arm or crossbody. So those are the 3 ways that I typically wear this bag. Now, as far as wear and tear, I've had this bag for just a few weeks now, and I have used it a handful of times, but I'm obviously not expecting to see any wear and tear on a bag that's still fairly new. I do think that I've already seen some fingerprints on this, but I was able to wipe them off very easily with a cleaning cloth. The only sort of wear and tear that I think I would kind of expect are probably on the bottom. It does have these little feet. I do think that this part is so smooth that I wouldn't be surprised if eventually I did see some sort of scratches or something down here. And I do think that maybe possibly over time, this little button right here is in this matte black. I'm guessing the button could probably wear a little bit and maybe the metal will peek through at some point. So that hasn't happened yet, just to be clear, but I'm just kind of speculating into the future what possible wear and tear I could see. And obviously, because patent leather is so shiny, I do want to be careful. I obviously don't want to scratch this bag because I think that would show up pretty prominently. So far, so good. I don't really see any scratches, just fingerprints that are easily wiped. And the other thing that I was curious about before I tried on and owned this bag was when I was looking at photos of this online, I was curious to see if this handle would kind of dig in when I wore it crossbody. And I'll show you guys some mod shots later, but I personally find that it doesn't bother me at all. So that was one thing that I was really glad to notice, is that I don't really feel like it digs in. As far as ease of use, I do feel like this bag is very easy to use. The only thing that I wanted to draw your attention to is this little snap closure here. It's actually not quite as easy to do it really quickly, especially if you're carrying it crossbody, as I thought it would. And so let me just show you guys a little bit closer. So there is the snap button closure here, and it has a little flap. So you can see that what you do is you tuck the second strap into this section, and then you fold it over and you close it. So hopefully you guys can see this. So lift this up, put that in there, make sure that the second strap is close, and then you tuck over this button part, and then you snap it. And it is easy, but it's not super seamless, if that makes sense. It's definitely taken me a few tries, especially if it's on my person and I'm like trying to do it one-handed. It's better to close the strap with two hands. Maybe as I use this bag, it'll get a little bit easier, but that's just the only finicky thing I've noticed so far. And what you can do is, if you don't want to bother with this at all, is you can actually just move this all the way to the bottom right here. And then you can close it like that and just leave it hanging right there if you didn't want to bother with that at all. So you can see a little bit from there that it does hang like that. So this is what it looks like from the side if you decided to move the snap button closure down. And I think that looks fine. I don't think it looks too intrusive. It does make using the bag just a little bit easier because you can just quickly open the bag when you need to rather than constantly buttoning and unbuttoning it. But to be honest, it doesn't really bother me, and I am kind of getting used to it, so it's been fine. So I'll go ahead and show you guys some mod shots. I think that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If there are any questions about anything, please do let me know in the comments and I will do my best to answer. I hope you guys all have a wonderful week and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.